In this tutorial, we'll be looking at functions in C#. As you can see, I've pre-prepared some code for you, which is available in the YouTube description below. So let's walk through this. To start off with, a function can have different definitions depending on the programming language. Some languages like Visual Basic separate procedures and functions. In C#, a function is a function. So what that means is it's either a piece of code that returns a value back to a main class, or it doesn't return a value at all. So we've got a program here which basically calculates the percentage and results of some fixed values. You've noticed here this is the first time I've declared multiple variables on the same line. You can do that. So if you've got the same variable type, here we've got a static float, which means it is a decimal, positive or negative, that does not change throughout the program. We have declared 4 variables, num1, number2, result, and percentage. Now, the point of a function is if we have a calculation or piece of code that we want to perform over multiple times throughout a program, instead of having to rewrite it every time we want to perform that action, we can create something called a function, which can be called, which means retrieved at any time. So the way this looks inside C# is anything that has these brackets here and is not part of the main is always read last. So what happens is this program will jump right to the static void main, which is the main line of the program, and then it will read any functions. So here we've got a class called calculation here, and inside there we have a function called add, and you can tell it's a function denoted by the brackets open and close. Inside this, we can use this code anytime we declare this class with this function. So if we break down what's inside the function here, we have a function with a bit of code which basically says, please enter a number. The number's then passed, because remember in consoles, we can only display strings. So we enter in 2 numbers. Then we have a result, which is the number 1 divided by number 2. And our percentage is also calculated by result times 100. And then what we write there is what the percentage of number 1 and 2 is. And then we keep the console open. So this example is very basic, but the idea is that if you have a fairly sophisticated program or program that does more than one function, the idea is that you should write separate functions, and then within your main line, you should be just declaring the bare bones of what the program needs to do, and then you declare the functionality as needed through function calls. So this is explained more within the documentation attached to this YouTube video. And also, if you've got any questions, you can also look at the next video, which is on the parameters of how functions work. And overall, I encourage you, even though this is probably intermediate C# now, I encourage you to use functions over just having one massive mainline, as they will make your life easier in the long run in terms of maintaining your code and also error detection and correction. Thank you for watching this video.